We're learning Perek Yud Halacha Gimel Hilchos Tshuva. Rambam explains here, Kesedi Ahava Hauyo. What is the Ahava that a person should have, which is correct? That he should love Ushayav as Hashem Ahava Gedoli. He should love Hashem with great love. Yisera, overabundant. Azo, strong. Moed, greatly so. Achetei Nafshi Kshura Ba'av as Hashem. So his soul is literally tied to the love of Hashem. Let's go down to the Peirush. How does Ahavas Hashem look? There are two types of Ahavas Hashem. How is this proper love? He also see the Atur on Perek Beis, Halacha Beis. He also explains it in Perek Dal, Halacha Yud Beis, how one can come to this Ahavas Hashem. And here he's explaining what it looks like. A great love. Azam Yoid. He duplicates his language to give emphasis to what he's saying, to the idea. So his soul is totally bound to the love of Hashem, and he's doing it constantly. Also in Al-Chavov, the Loshen says Shoiga. He says, Davar Yodua. It is known and clear. Ein Ahavas HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not tied in the heart of a person until he will be involved with it continuously. The Ravid disagrees. Ze Hashigayon. This outlandish idea, Lo Yadan Lo Ezed Over Kiven. I don't know what he's talking about. And he says, and we explain it with two ways. Loshen shiur. When it says v'nimtza shoige botomet, this shigoyon, he says this outlandishness or whatever it means. I don't know what it means, and we can explain it two ways. Loshen shiur, as it says kemo shigoyon leDavid, as we find this is a song of David. V'yin acher is another way of explaining it. Ba'avu ahava tishge binyonecho. When a person loves someone else, he will, in a sense, do things which he would not do otherwise. Sheloitosem alev. He will not notice that he's giving up so much of himself out of love for the other. And that's what tishge means, the loshen shkogo, doing something which is without thought, without logical reason. Rambam gives you, the Maimonides gives a moshel. This is just similar to somebody who is overcome, he's love stricken. He cannot take out his mind off from the love of a certain woman. He's continuously dwelling in it. Tomen, continuously so. It doesn't matter whether he's up or down or standing or walking. Or while he's eating and drinking. Yes, greater than this has to be Tiyavas Hashem B'Levo Yahavov. Even greater than this. That they think about him continuously, as we are commanded. So the simple translation means with everything, with all the powers that a person has. And the Peirush HaMeir, this is what Shlomo says there, with a simile. In Shiur Beis, hey, I'm sick with love. A sickness means I am so totally overcome. Just like when a person is sick, he's overcome by an outside factor, so too love has overpowered me. And the entire shiur is a parable to this thought that simply you could explain it as a song of love between man and wife. However, the Even Ezra explains shiur, one, the explanation of the words, secondly, what it infers, and thirdly, how we should understand what is being portrayed and conveyed. B'Shivrei HaBaal Shem Tov, we find the Sefer Shivrei HaBaal Shem Tov, which actually many stories that were collected about the Baal Shem Tov. It tells about a goy who was a physician that he knew all types of love from just taking the pulse of a person. And when he took the pulse of Rabbi Sol Baal Shem Tov, he said, according to his pulse, he seems to be overpowered, come by love of a woman. And this is a love that one cannot rectify. Baal Shem Tov smiled. He said, "You're right, but Zuhar is Hashem. The love that he was talking about was the love of Hashem. This non-Jew that didn't know that there's such a concept of a greater love, that a goy doesn't understand the love of this great love, and he uses the opinion that he was sick of a natural love, but the truth is that he was a sick of ahava. It says kicholos avani. It would seem that the Rambam should have started off Halacha Gimel before, which is how does one attain the love of the proper love, before telling us about the love of Hashem in Halacha 2. There, it would seem we know already what Avos Hashem is, and one can explain that by Halacha Beis, he tells you how a person has to actually do. And he preceded this in order to tell you that in Avos Hashem there's two aspects. One is the mitzvahs which are obligatory on the person to serve Hashem with all of his strength. And two, that he does not serve Hashem because of his fear of punishment or reward. According to the Rambam, that it also includes the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem. That's what the Ramban adds to it as well, and we'll turn the page. Seva mitzvahs, the Rambam says that we were commanded in the Torah to pray one time by day. This is what the Rambam's shita is, that prayer is obligatory in Torah once a day, because it says to serve Hashem with all your heart and all your soul. Ramban disagrees, and he says that this pasuk just tells us that it should be what we serve Hashem and everything we do should be with the proper intent, for the intent of sake of heaven, without any evilness. You shouldn't do a mitzvah without intent, and we should be placed into our love for Hashem, of our soul and of our money, all of what we want. As we explained, the understanding of the Rambam and Halacha Beis, that we're talking about the fulfillment of the service of Hashem, to do the mitzvahs only for the truth, mi'ahava. Now, what types of ahava is Hashem are there? Is there only one type of love of Hashem or more? The Baal HaTanya explains that the roots of the service of Hashem and its foundation is b'dechilo. B'dechilo means fear. Urechimo means love. Fear is the source to go away from evil. And ahava, love, is the source, the root of to doing good. And it says, Ki sishma es kol mitzvah azois, if you will keep this mitzvah, to do so, that which I command you to love Hashem. And he asks, how can you say la soiso? How can you say to do so? With an ahava, which is a mitzvah shebelev, which is a mitzvah in the heart. He explains, there are two types of ahavos Hashem. One is klois hanefesh, the whole soul desire, the longing of the soul in its nature to its creator. And this happens when the soul and the mind is stronger than the physical. then the person becomes aroused and enveloped with the heavenly spiritual fire by itself, and he will be happy with Hashem, and he will have that tainuk, oneg, that delight and of having a closeness to Hashem. Those who merit this are called tzaddikim, as it says, simchu tzaddikim b'Hashem, rejoice tzaddikim in Hashem, because you need for this cleansing of the physical, very much so, and a lot of Torah and a lot of good deeds to come to this elevation of the soul, to a level of ruach v'nefesh, as we find in Bereshis. We find in Bereshis Chochmah, in the Sefer Bereshis Chochmah, that's the first type of ahava. The second ahava, that everyone can get to it. And they'll think about the good things which arouse a person to Ahav Hashem, as he goes on to explain over there, the Baal HaTanya. Thus we see that to do it is referring to the love of Hashem, means that the second love. He should think about, he should put in his heart how he can love Hashem. But the first one, which goes literally, it lights from itself, it's continuously burning. It's not by that something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can command us to do, and we have to work at coming to that level. In Halacha Gimel, he does not mention that there's action, how to activate the Ahavas Hashem, because he's only talking about the fact that there is such a concept, and that one achieves it through cleansing the physical. That is not, his soul should be totally attached to Hashem. You can also explain that in Halacha Beis, he tells us the active action of Ahavas Hashem, but Halacha Gimel, in Halacha Gimel, he's talking on the elevation of that the spiritual level that one attains to the love of Hashem, because you can't say that a person is commanded to do it. But that's the fact, that's the essence, that his soul is attached to Hashem when he achieves it to a point of choles ahava ani. In other words, once you attain a certain level, then it continues on itself, by itself. You reach a critical mass, then the fusion will continue by itself.